Welcome back to Fisher Sports Desk. I'm joined in the studio with senior running back of the football team, Brad Carlton. Thanks for being with us here today.
Thanks for having me, Salon. I appreciate it.
We're going to talk today about your season individually and as a team. A lot of playoff implications coming up this weekend, but we'll get to that a little bit later. First of all, I want to talk about your season individually. You came into the season as the #1 running back. But this season you have actually more receiving yards than you do rushing yards. We've seen you a lot this season more as a slot receiver. How do you describe your role in this team? How would you describe your play?
Well, it's been interesting, and the receivers and I joke about it a lot because they're always complaining that one of the running backs has the most receptions on the team. And it's been great, though, because, as you know, we had Christian come in as a freshman. He's a great running back. And, Coach wanted to be able to have us both on the field at the same time. So he said, all right, Brad, this year we're going to put you in the slot a little more and we're going to throw you the ball. And it was hard because I had to learn a little bit of a different position. But we only run certain plays when I'm in the slot. I don't have to know all the pass plays. And it's actually been a lot of fun, and I liked it a lot. And, things could have been different if I had come in as a receiver, and that could have been where I was my whole career.
Is there any position you feel more comfortable in?
I feel more comfortable at running back just because that's where I've been for 3 years. And the slot's new to me, and it's been a lot of learning this year, so I'm not as comfortable, but it is a lot of fun.
Well, against Springfield this weekend, you had your top receiving and rushing performance. You had 19 carries for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. And as if that weren't enough already, you also had 7 receptions for 106 yards and a touchdown. What were your thoughts about that game and your performance?
That was probably the most fun for me this season. It was really a great game. And I have to obviously give my credit to our offensive line and obviously to Tim Bailey. He's a great quarterback, and our offensive line really took control in that game. And I wish every game could be like that. It was a lot of fun, and it seemed like, as far as the offense goes, it was really easy to succeed. And I think, if we put our mindset to that, we can do that again this weekend. I think we'll have another great game.
Now, as far as your success in the running position, do you really credit that to the play calling, to the offensive line, or where do you think that success comes from?
Both, combination of both. It's not me. I can guarantee that. It's our offensive line is great, and Coach Parks, our offensive coordinator, he puts a lot of time in to make sure that he knows what plays are going to succeed against the teams that we're playing. So.
And you mentioned before the freshman running back Christian Zamitis, who basically burst onto the scene against that Ithaca game, 5 rushing touchdowns, had a couple of carries in the previous 2 games against Mount Union and also Buff State, but it really was an explosion from him in that game. How did you feel as a senior with this freshman coming in and really performing very, very well?
Well, that was really, like you said, Ithaca is where Christian really just kind of took off, and that's the game that I played a lot of slot receiver, and that's kind of where my position, it didn't change, but it differed a little bit from what it's been in the past, being strictly a running back, and that was fine with me because, if we're both on the field and our team's succeeding and we're scoring touchdowns, then, that's really all that matters, and I'm glad to see that Christian found a lot of success this year, and hopefully he can get back to us healthy if we do make it into the playoffs.
For those of you watching who don't know, Christian actually injured his knee. I don't know what specifically. He had to have surgery to repair. He played in the Alfred game, but is out for the rest of the season. So definitely, although you're graduating, do you expect to see very big things for him in the future?
Oh yeah. If he does get back to us this season, it'll be great, and I think that he'll find success again. And if not, if it's something where he doesn't come back until next season, he's going to be a great running back, and I have a feeling that he's going to break a lot of records here, during his career at Fisher.
Well, he already tied one, of course, that game against Ithaca, in which he tied Mark Robinson's record for 5 rushing touchdowns in a game. Now, I want to talk about this weekend against Hartwick, your game on Saturday. If you win this game, that means you're automatically co-champions of the Empire 8 Conference. What is the team feeling like going into this game? I know Hartwick right now, they are 5-3 overall, 1-3 in the Empire 8. Not the strongest record. Their offense is probably a lot stronger than the defense that you'll be facing and going against. What are the thoughts of the team going into this game, considering the playoff implications?
Yeah, well, we try not to look at a team's schedule or a team's record, and how they've done in the beginning of the season because, as the past 2 years, Hartwick's had our number. And they've beaten us. So we're trying to just go into this game to be as prepared as possible and, whatever happens between Alfred and Utica, that's going to happen. But we're going to try to take care of us, and that's the only thing that we control is try to get a victory against Hartwick. So
that's what I wanted to talk about next. That Alfred and Utica game, that's the 1 o'clock game on Saturday. You guys are the 4 o'clock game on Saturday. I talked to Coach Vosberg, and he said, I don't want any of the players, no coaches thinking about that game, knowing about that game. Stay off your cell phones. How is it going to be for you as a player? Are you going to be wondering about it, or what is going to be in the back of your head?
I'm going to try not to. Like I said, there's only one thing that we can control, and I'm going to try to just concentrate on our game. And if Utica wins, then great. And if not, then we don't have anything. We can't do anything about it. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to try not to think about it. And like Coach said, as a team, we're not going to worry about what they do. We're just going to take care of business on our end.
And again, if Alfred wins that game, that means they are outright Empire 8 champions. Also, if Fisher loses the game against Hartwick, so a lot of pressure there on both of those teams respectively. Now back to you individually. You're recently named by ESPN the magazine's All-District, All-Academic, All-American regionally, and that puts you also in contention for being named an Academic All-American nationally. Your computer science major, 3.9 cumulative GPA. How do you balance playing football and being such a strong student?
I don't know. I wish I was an easy answer. I could just tell you it's been hard. Football is a really big time commitment, and I remember thinking as a freshman, what am I doing to myself? I don't know if I can balance football and school, but it really does get easier every year. You learn, the schedule is the same as far as football goes. We have games on Saturdays, we do film and lifting on Sundays, Mondays off, and you just kind of learn to balance, when you can get your schoolwork done and when you have to dedicate time to football for practice and meetings and film and all the other things that we have to do. And I've just been really lucky, I guess. The coaches are very supportive, and my professors are very understanding when I have to leave for games on Fridays, and it's just, I have a big support group here, and I wish that I could take the credit for it, but I've had a lot of help. So.
All right, well, congratulations for sure for being named to that list, and I wish you the best of luck this Saturday. Again, Brad Carlton, senior running back of the football team, facing Hartwick for the end of the regular season game. We have to take a break here on Fisher Sports Desk, but please stay with us.